Would you like to reach our film and TV review podcast audience? Do you have a product or service of interest to film and TV home consumers or followers of the entertainment industry? Have a film or show production to publicize? For affordable price plans for all budgets, get in touch and find out about our introductory advertising options. Reach our audience of film and TV viewers and visit our site contact page at filmandtvreview.com, or you can email us at business@filmandtvreview.com. Reach out today. Welcome to filmandtvreview.com. Catch the latest film, TV and streamed show reviews every week. The views and opinions expressed by the authors and those providing comments are theirs alone. They do not reflect the views, opinions or position of filmandtvreview.com or their respective parent companies or affiliates. Filmandtvreview.com makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information in this program and is for entertainment purposes only. Episodes may contain adult humor and language. For full terms and conditions, see filmandtvreview.com.
Now it's a film and TV review special here. We're going to be talking about Star Wars and Star Wars Celebration, which recently passed in London. So we thought I might take this opportunity to just talk about a catch up on what's been happening with Disney and Star Wars and all the shows and some of the announcements that happened at Celebration. So it's a good catch up if you've been away from the Star Wars world for a bit. So I'm joining with some regulars and some new people and I guess some Star Wars fans throughout the eras anyway. So I think we'll start with probably our reflections on those who did go to Celebrations. I went, and Noelle, you went there as well. So
I went too.
Oh, were you there? I didn't meet you. Yeah. Okay, good. All right, so guys, I'll talk with you two. What was your reflections on Celebration? What did you highs and lows and disappointed, not disappointed with?
Yeah, I think Disney with their new CEO is really getting their head in the game, so to speak. They're still going off their Rey, Grogu kind of what they want, but they're also giving the fans what they want. I think that's very evident with bringing Return of the Jedi back into cinemas. I think they know that's what fans want. I think they're still kind of timid though. They're like they have no ground like with their footing right now. They're still trying to decide what to do. So I don't think there was much announced as I thought there would be, but I predicted, I mean, we talked about this last time, that there was going to be a Jedi way before the 9 films or, however films there are now, the beginning of the Jedi Order. I think that's very interesting. I think that's what they need to do more. A Cal movie, I think also, I don't want to say it's predictable, like I'm thinking of all these things and then they happen, but I think it's a good move. So they're giving us some fan things like that. Rey and Grogu, I mean, I'm not as excited about that. I hope that Daisy Ridley gets better writing, but I don't want it to just be all about Grogu all of a sudden. I want it to be multifactual in the way that it takes place in different eras, because we have thousands of years in the expanded universe and now the Legends universe. And I hope they bring some of that back in. But I think overall it was okay. I went to the parks panel. They only announced that there will be new planets and new TV shows and film. And that will be announced with in the new Star Tours ride. So you'll have new planets. They couldn't tell us what. So I think it's like Disney's kind of miscommunicating with everyone because it's very vague. But that's what I thought. I still had fun though. Obviously, we had fun together. So.
Yeah. It was. I think they announced it on. I went on the Sunday. You were there on the Sunday as well, and they all announced it on the Friday. It was just all in one go, and it wasn't like it was just. I guess the big movies are coming out, which I kind of like Daisy Ridley. Kind of like it's a bit hard for me. Kind of my heart kind of like sank a bit because I'm thinking,
Yeah.
She didn't
Like
have a
it's a
good
little
time.
too soon. I feel like they saw how much we love Hayden now after the prequels, and they said, "Oh, they'll love Daisy Ridley." But like I don't know. It's not that we hate her, but like maybe give it a bit more time than a couple of years, if that. But I also Andor season 2. I had no idea, but I went back. I have a fan page online for Faye Marze and Andor. And a lot of my fans were telling me that they were filming in December of last year. So they have basically already filmed season 2, the entirety of it.
I think Tony Gilroy was just quite a busy fellow, just completely writing in his room and is like just getting through it. But I mean, good writing on that season, but not a lot of eyes on that show. What a shame, because it's probably the best part of writing I've seen for a few years. And basically at the adult end of the demographic of the Star Wars fandom is kind of like, hey, you got people who used to some really sophisticated writing. It's good to be serviced.
Well, it's like what Star Wars was always meant to be. That's how I feel like Andor is. How it was always supposed to be, and George Lucas couldn't vocalize that due to his poor directing and writing skills, or at least skills that are usually paired better with someone else. But yeah, Andor, apparently they've already done season 2, but like I'm wondering if there would be more than 2 seasons, but I think the critic reviews are better than they thought. And maybe that'll lead to more Andor or other characters, or I could see Luthen getting his own show or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I hope some word of mouth will translate so people can catch up on that season 2. But I think there will only be 2 seasons, because it's just like it will just close off like that. So, which is good. You don't have to have seasons,
no.
and then.
But a spin-off with other characters would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be quite good. But generally, it was 3 days really to spread, making the benefit of the bank holiday Monday on there. So good stores, good atmosphere. But I mean, Disney and Star Wars it's interesting times right now. We're there. Let's put it that way.
Well, it was better than D23 when I went in 2019. They were nasty, or 2018, 2019. But I was still told Star Wars Celebration, like I was able to go up on stage and do a trivia thing. And they didn't really, apparently they used to give people tons of prizes, and they didn't really do that. Like the prize and the free stuff, those added benefits weren't really there, but I still had fun, and I probably would have gotten the 4-day pass to go Friday for the Andor thing, and then gone Sunday, again, because we were all going. But yeah, it could have been better, but it was better. It could have been a lot worse, the whole.
It could have.
Can I briefly ask one thing? I'll give the floor to other people. I'll be really quick. With this public events, I've met, remember we've met before in public in London and that, but it's been a long time since I've been socializing. With the Star Wars thing, I don't personally know the producers or personally, of course, but when you go to these big events, it must be very, very crowded. But are they quite welcoming people there? Like what kind of people?
Yeah, so Friday and Saturday were very crowded. Sunday was average or slightly even less than average for me. I always go on Sundays, like always. The staff are usually, there's not enough of them, and they're generally, they can be okay, but they're at worst usually ill-informed unless they're dealing with the celebrities. Because I've been to basically every big Comic-Con, almost all of them in California and London. But yeah, if the celebrities, the celebrities are usually nice, but their handlers are not nice whatsoever. I know someone has to be the devil's advocate for them, but like tons of people on Friday and Saturday is what I was told. So I prepared for the worst. So I think it just depends on when you go and what you want out of it. Like I walked in when it opened and had no problem. Some people did. Tickets are worth the money though, I think, because they were like £80, I think.
Oof.
Yeah, but it's worth it. It's very much worth the experience. It's like
for one day.
It's but it's very fulfilling though. It's like when you go to a theme park all day and then you're exhausted after, but you had so much fun. It's like that. And like you don't need to. It's like you're gonna pay £80 for a steak, but you're not gonna need to eat a bunch of other things with that steak. You know what I mean? So
that's an interesting point. Okay, I just wanted to know because I find it difficult with crowds because I have autism. You see, I have Asperger's. So.
There was a lot of queuing there, I got to say, even for just looking at the shops and stores. I wonder, talking about the the main stage, which is queuing, kind of
Yeah.
obviously. But even for like there's like Forbidden Planet and there's a few other kind of like
Yeah.
artists or Hasbro, but you're just queuing for that and you're thinking
Yeah.
this is crazy. But I think if you're coming from another country, you're thinking I'll only get this here,
Yeah.
exclusive here. But it was annoying.
What about access to the major panels?
I lined up like I've lined up like 45 minutes before mine. I don't think mine was super packed. I did the parks panel, but usually there's back-to-back panels, and between them they have other like people just talking about Star Wars or doing trivia or talking about their career as a Star Wars whoever that aren't really listed as panels. So like for me, there was a panel with one of the actors and then like a 30-minute break where they did trivia, and then they had the parks panel. So if I would recommend getting like an hour before, which isn't too bad. Like if you're with people, it's fine, but 45 minutes to an hour. I also got to see Ashley Eckstein speak during a kids thing that she was doing, and I just went in with the thing before that was there. They did a kids costume contest, went in for the kids costume contest, and stayed there for Ashley Eckstein after.
Nice.
So
Nice.
Yeah, about the queue situation, and like panel accessibility. I mean, like there was like a lottery system, and unfortunately, I didn't win any of the panels I wanted to go to. The biggest panel I went to was the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary, and I started queuing up an hour before, and I barely got in. And there was also another panel, the Clone Wars panel, that I went there, and they told me that the queue was closed.
yeah.
And but I stayed, and it was like half an hour before, but I stayed there, and I stayed there, and like when like the panel was about to begin, they said, "All right, we have 100 more places," and, and so I managed to sneak in. But I have to say, so this is probably my biggest disappointment, because I mean, I knew that they were going to announce like new movies at the Lucasfilm showcase, and I would have, I don't know, sell my kidney to get into that panel, and so I didn't win the lottery ticket, but at least I mean I was since it was the big panel where they were going to announce like new movies and everything. I was expecting it to be streamed at the live stage or at some location where it would be like accessible to everybody. Or maybe, okay, I mean, it would have been okay if they didn't want to show me the trailer, but at least give me the news in real time with the other people at Celebration. Because I was there like to celebrate Star Wars, to get to know about the new stuff, and I mean, there was a situation where some people knew more than others. And like the 2 hours after the panel, I was like, okay, what did they announce? I had no access to Twitter because there was no service anywhere. So I was like, okay, what did they announce? And I think it would have been way better from a communication standpoint if they had just streamed the whole thing from the live stage or from like maxi screen somewhere. And also 6 years ago, I was as well. This was my second celebration, and so the Star Wars celebration 7 years ago in London, I was there, and for the big panel, like you could like go there basically at 6-7 a.m. and you will get a bracelet, and you were fine, and with the bracelet you could get in, and you didn't have to queue. And this time they didn't do that at all. So they did some of the tickets, some of the places were done through this raffle system, but others were for people like queuing that wanted to queue up. But for example, like I wanted to queue up for the Ahsoka panel, but I got in at 10:30, and they told me that the queue was already closed. But then some people that were inside told me that there were a lot of free seats. So I don't know what happened. I mean,
I can tell. So you recommended to show what was happening on the stage, right? You were saying how they wished you wished they had showed that, right? Because
at least the Lucasfilm show. I don't mean every
I know, but like
at least the Lucasfilm showcase panel
at Silicon Valley Comic-Con, which is now called Silicon in California. I don't remember how many stages there were, but I'm pretty sure there were at least 2. And anything big like that, like Christina Ricci from the Addams Family, like they would show her interviews. Like they had TVs everywhere in the main hall where people could walk by and look at it or stop and look at it. So I think that would be a good idea. And then Ollie, you were wondering if it was overcrowded or anything. And you also mentioned autism and Asperger's. You can get a disability pass, and I'm sure it would count for that. And they will see you beforehand and in a special area if you would like. Like they'll take care of you. Yeah.
Good point.
It was. I did feel, like you mentioned, the 2015 celebration. That was just a bit more accessible, a bit more because of the bracing system. Much more free flow with the crowd, so you can actually attend back and forth the panels, and it seemed to have much bigger space. This queuing system just seemed to restrict.
I totally agree.
Terrible.
I mean, also the display. I think the spaces was like there was more stuff to do. There was also, I remember there was an area with like some drone pilots and like piloting some X-wing drones or some speeder bike drones, and there was also an area where you could try a VR game, like the Darth Vader VR game. So I think I don't know, like in terms of pure organization, I think that 2016 was way better. I remember that I remember that I went there at 6 a.m. to get my bracelet for the Rogue One and the Mark Hamill panel, and I got both of them. And so I got the bracelet. And then like I was like into the Excel, so I could like get a coffee and everything, and I was sure that I would have been able to see the Mark Hamill and the Rogue One panel. While this time,
2015 was you didn't have to reserve anything. You could have exactly. You made all that way, and people from all over the world, and you were gonna see if you just put some time in, you were gonna see probably everything you wanted to, the exclusive panels, everything, like all the really high stuff. Yeah. It was really great, great atmosphere.
You just have to sleep overnight.
Well,
some people,
well, we had
nice.
one member of the group.
Some people slept overnight inside the different halls of Excel.
I didn't think they would be allowed. There was a lot of empty.
The one that what's his name? Gabriele was mentioning. Gabriele, 7 years ago.
Gabriel.
2015.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, 2016. It was the Rogue One. 2016.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, people were actually sleeping overnight to get those bracelets at 6 in the morning.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, I didn't do it. I mean, I just went there at like 6 a.m. And I got my bracelet.
And he got in. You probably saw it. Yeah.
I wanted to
I didn't go earlier. Got to saw some really good panels there. The Rogue One panel. Yeah, you're right. The Rogue One panel.
But in 2016, did they do the 4-day pass? Because I know
it was 3 days. First of all, it was 3 days.
But was it a 3-day pass? Was that?
There was 3-day pass. But I think maybe the reason why I'm just guessing. The reason why it was like you described this year. Maybe it's just money. It's just because maybe they just increased the number of VIP passes they sold, and the VIP passes, I believe, were giving access to these major panels, like reserved seats. And people actually buy online access, and maybe by increasing the number of VIP seats, obviously it's diminished the number.
How much, Richard, how much were the VIP tickets?
I don't remember. Again, in 2015, the prices were crazy for the VIP Jedi stuff. It was like 170 per day or something like that. But I don't know how much it is for this one.
That's crazy. That's insane.
And then some people, knowing that actually it's a worldwide event, they know that they will find only 10 or 20,000 people who are able to afford itself with this kind of.
Okay, for the Jedi VIP ticket. So I bought my tickets on day one, and the Jedi VIP and the 4-day pass were already gone, like in the first hour.
Oh yeah.
So I had to buy the 4 days separately, and I have to say, so the few people I saw with a Jedi VIP pass were either journalists or podcasters. So my feeling is that they kind of got the majority of them through like back channels or like
that's possible. That's another explanation, is that like a lot of events, not only Star Wars, but a lot of also sports events, unfortunately, And maybe that's why there are some seats that was still available, but at the same time not available, that you mentioned. Maybe actually a lot of those seats were given to partners or sponsors or journalists, and they didn't show up.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, Ticketmaster has like a relationship with American Express, and like they have a deal that like a percentage of the tickets have to be reserved for American Express cardholders. So
exactly.
Yeah. I think though, like what they should have done, because Friday was super busy and Monday they were still selling tickets on Sunday for Monday. Maybe they should have done more panels on Monday. Like, everyone's going to go Saturday. Don't announce things on Saturday when everyone's going. Try to like even it out. Like, I hate to say that because Disney does the same thing with their rides and it angers me. Yeah, but I think it could have helped. You know what I mean?
That's another topic that Jason was mentioning before we start the recording. Is it's surprising that actually all the major announcements were on one day out of 4.
Yeah. And
that's
that was
a very
busy
strange
day anyway.
choice. The first day they did everything, and not that everything else was boring, but there were no major announcements on Saturday.
Well, to be honest, so the new movies, they were all announced on Saturday. So on Friday. On Saturday, they announced 2 big things. So they announced who's gonna play Thrawn, because it wasn't announced the day before.
Okay.
And
true.
They also announced that Dave Filoni is gonna do Tales of the Jedi season 2.
I should have told you that though. Sorry, that was so predictable. Sorry, not to ruin it, but yeah, Dave Filoni is obviously like. Sorry, I just saw that coming a mile away.
Anyway, but I was there at the Clone Wars panel, and he mentioned it at the end of it.
As in the kind of a great kind of guess, there was a member of our group who did actually go. They went quite early, about 8:30, but they made it to the Hayden Christian appearance, who was quite popular and quite emotional. I gather he did tell us there were quite a lot of love coming from the audience, and he started tearing up a bit actually. So that was quite good. As did Dave Filoni, I think, when they were allowed to just really connect with the audience and just let it all out. But those are probably the quite highlights of the guests there. But a lot of excitement, I think, was on for the Ashoka. Was that announced on
Friday
on the Friday as well?
Yeah.
No, well, we already it was not announced. I mean, we already knew that Ahsoka was coming.
Yeah.
But what they did on Friday, they showed the trailer.
The trailer.
Yeah. Also, one thing I like to do at this kind of convention is to see like who's cosplaying what, to see like where the fandom is going, and probably the character I saw most cosplayed at was Ahsoka. I mean, I couldn't believe like the amount of love for Ahsoka, that like so many Ahsokas everywhere, in particular on Saturday.
I mean, it was quite good. I think, they're kind of like, you was wondering what the crowd reactions were going to be to some of the announcements. Some of them were noticeably a bit lukewarm when some, let's say, members appeared, or let's say from the managing department, let's say. So I mean, I said before, I mean, Star Wars and Disney and what's happened we're a bit in strange times, or kind of like interesting times, let's say. I mean, I think can we want to maybe what's just happened in the last year or so with the shows and all that. What's your general opinion on the shows? Are you a bit more excited, not excited? If anyone,
I mean, I would be more excited for Ahsoka if Ahsoka was played by Ashley Eckstein. I'm sorry, I hate one of the biggest cliches I see in every film and television everywhere that really bothers me is they take a very Ahsoka is such an interesting, fun personality in Clone Wars and Rebels, and then she just becomes I'm a stoic Jedi. Like, you could replace her with any boring ass extra from the Jedi Council and there'd be no personality to, change. It's so frustrating to see that. Maybe she'll be more playful, but not I don't have anything to look forward to when you change the thing I liked about a character in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Ahsoka,
Unfortunately, I'm playing the devil's advocate, but I think that is just Rosario Dawson is more bankable than Ashley Eckstein, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
It's just for marketing reason.
yeah.
I agree with you. I think it's the voice of Ahsoka is amazing, but at the same time, if they want to do live action, they have to think about money all the time, and they think actually that Rosario Dawson is a better bet. I think.
Can I briefly ask a question? I'll be very quick. I offer my profuse apologies. I'll be very fast. Excuse my ignorance here. What was George Lucas's thinking, or what was the reason that he created Star Wars? Was there a backstory? Was there a reason that said, okay, I'm creating this. My inspiration is this? Because I heard it's to do with actual something to do with NASA or space travel or outer space. But can someone enlighten me? Why did he call it Star Wars? For what reason? What was his inspiration?
Star Wars was kind of like based off of a lot of different things.
Okay.
Like the Hidden Fortress and World War II.
Oh,
like combat
I see. I see.
So it wasn't necessarily just that, but and to be honest, it's not even like they knew it would be what it was or even remotely successful.
Yeah.
Just something that he wanted to do, and it became very successful. So
because he
originally he really wanted the rights to do Flash Gordon. That's actually what he wanted to do. I'll do a version of it.
On that note, I want to say that Zack Snyder is about to do the same exact thing, because he went to Lucasfilm saying, hey, I have this idea for a movie, and they said nah. So he went to Netflix, he changed the names, and then now he's doing Rebel Moon, and it's coming out on
it's true.
December. I'm very excited about this, because I'm a Zack Snyder fan.
But certain things will like predate Star Wars, like John Carter or Valerian, and then they do adaptations of that. They're like, oh, that's just like Star Wars, or just like this other thing.
But I wanted to people don't talk about this film, but it's relevant. Okay, we're talking about Star Wars, but was it Close Encounters of the Third Kind in 1977? I can't remember who directed it, but that
Spielberg. No, it was 77 in the US.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, you can look at stuff like 2001: A Space Odyssey, 1968, the actual book. I don't remember the 60s. But the point I'm making here is, for example, with space travel and the like, is with that Close Encounters of the Third Kind, my mum said to me that was actually before Star Wars. I didn't know that. It was released before.
It was the same year. I don't know which had the first release date, but they came out the same year.
But I mean, there was a lot. I mean, I'm sure if they're being filmed, there'd be different, schedulings when they're being filmed. So they're good friends, obviously, Spielberg and Lucas. And of course, elaborated on Indiana Jones, which incidentally, there was quite a few Jones at the Hasbro Pulse store there, actually. It was quite interesting to see a lot of the figures that came out. And the Black Series, I think, released quite a lot of stuff. So I was looking I'm not a huge figure collector, but I did look at some very enticing figures there.
They've had like 2 or 3 sets of Indiana Jones action figures from the original movies in the 80s and then like 90s or early 2000s, because I collect them. They're not here and they're back in America, but yeah, Indiana Jones has always been very profitable with the action figures and everything, because all the bad guys have like different costumes, in every movie and everything. So
but yeah, I mean that was quite quite from different. The ones, ironically, the ones that are selling are the ones, the older era ones that were quite popular, that they keep producing and reissuing new series, and they always are very, very popular because the costuming is just so great on them. So that was Celebration. I think next year it's in Japan. Who's going to Japan? Well, you're going, right? That's
I was actually I went to Tokyo in 2015 and I loved it, and I was waiting for an excuse to go back, so now I have it.
Gee, wow! I'm just wondering how expensive that's going to be, but
the flight is expensive. It's like, at least from America, it's like $2,000 each way, because my dad's friend's wife lives there. But yeah, it's really expensive. But once you get there, it's less expensive. But getting there,
sorry, but shouldn't it be like cheaper and closer from California than from England?
Yeah, that's my point. If it's 2,000 from America, imagine how much more it's going to be from the UK. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, there's Disney Tokyo. My dad's friend, they live right by it. Disney Tokyo is the best theme park of all the Disney ones. But yeah, It's very yeah.
I think also, as I mentioned, was the Mandalorian panel, which was Carl Weathers was there. What are we thinking of Mandalorian so far? I mean, we've been watching, of course, it's showing right now. I'm getting a bit more mixed feelings about it than I used to. Well, any other opinions from the room?
Stop being so fan servicey, and then
Yeah.
I'll watch it some more.
Okay,
I think
so
it's all right.
some people, not me, unfortunately. So some people got to see the episode that is coming out tomorrow at Celebration, and they all said it was amazing, one of the best. Like for me, like, I mean, I like Mandalorian, but it's kind of up and down. Like the last episode with Jack Black was okay for me, but I understand why many people didn't like it. Maybe it was the cameos were a bit too much on the nose, and I didn't like the episode 3, the one with the one that was all on Coruscant. But for example, the episode with Navarro with the pirates, that was perfect for me. And even the second episode with when it goes back to Mandalore, that was very good as well. So for me, it's a more up and down.
Yeah, the tone's a bit here and there. It always seems like, because you seem to have half of that season had to kind of be swapped into the Boba Fett series just to save Boba Fett from his own series almost, because I think anyone, no spoilers, but if anyone watches the Boba Fett, you can see what you think is a cameo by the Mandalorian spread over 3 episodes, actually, and a lot of world building.
Yeah, about that, I'm kind of afraid that because they cancelled Rangers of the New Republic, I'm afraid that they had to put some stuff that was originally intended for Rangers of the New Republic into Mandalorian. So like, because for example, episode 3 like didn't feel like Mandalorian at all. Like it felt like a completely different show.
But do you think it would have been better though? Just real quick, do you think it would have been better if they recasted Gina Carano? Because people don't really recast in Star Wars, or would you, and then have Rangers of the New Republic and Mando season 3 with a non-Gina Carano Cara Dune, or would you rather just have gone where it's supposed to be?
Okay. Recast Gina Carano? No, because I mean it would have been a whole like kind of worms, and it would have been a mess. Like with all the toxicity that surrounds Star Wars, it is not something that would have been welcomed. But so recast Gina Carano? No. Rework the series so that other characters may have the top spot? Yes. For example, in episode 5, the episode with the pirates, like my favorite one so far, the Carson Teva character, I thought it was amazing. So maybe like do the show, but give that character like more, put the character more in the limelight. Yeah. Maybe come up with new characters, or like there was a cameo from Zeb from Rebels. I mean, have Zeb there too. So I think that there could have been ways to like rework it so that Gina Carano was not there. But whatever. I mean, this is what we got.
Yeah, I almost like that they don't recast, because I think I just like as much like I'm kind of indifferent to the Harry Potter series, but one of the things I like ruins it for me is they have recasted basically half of the secondary cast, and it's not even people getting old. It's people like, oh, we didn't know they were going to be back. So I like that Star Wars doesn't recast. I think it's a good decision, you know.
Yeah, it's I think some of these characters, when they are successful, it's indelibly linked to the performance of the persona of the actor. So you know, it's. And in that time frame, it's just, you know, it's within a few years. It's not. You once you see the new actor, it's not unfair on the new actor or even on the role. You're thinking, well, you're always thinking, well, why isn't she here? No. So it's better that they just introduce a similar character but a different one. The world or the universe is big enough. It's bigger than Tatooine. Well, you wouldn't think so from the series, but it is bigger than Tatooine. Of course, I think Ewan McGregor did make a short appearance on there. I think he just said he came to say hello, and then made the board review, and then went off again. I think Kathleen Kennedy, I think she was asked just recently, saying what are the plans for season 2, and I think she said there is no real immediate plans right now for season 2. Ewan McGregor, which kind of explains why Ewan McGregor came on and said, "May the force be with you," and then went off again. I'm thinking, that kind of explains that. I didn't know that was a bit.
No, they know they screwed up. Leave it alone. Stop touching it. Unless you're the Clone Wars animated series, let's not. Oh man.
Thank you.
But I want to know how he got his belt. I want to know the small little intricacies of details that are.
You know, what there is one Star Wars thing I looked at. I was in a secondhand DVD shop. I don't mind sharing this, and there was Robot Chicken Star Wars. I never even heard what is that. They just said Robot Chicken.
Yeah, they had like different episodes where they just focused on Star Wars from that program. So just parodying whatever.
Funny, like comedy. Anyway.
Yeah, you can find some of it on YouTube, I think. So
it's actually quite therapeutic humor, actually, because I think the Star Wars fans have gone through quite a roller coaster of expectations and where they stand. And like I said, we had the prequels, and then very mixed response to that, and then it was Obi-Wan. I think they were thinking, well, we'll give it one more last chance with Obi-Wan, and it didn't quite hit.
Obi-Wan was the start of the end of terrible Star Wars. I hope that they realize how badly they screwed up, especially when Andor's the shining light that is hopefully going to fix everything, and no one watches it, even though they should watch it. And they're like, now Disney's like, oh, we screwed up. You know what? Like, yeah.
I kind of think, I was.
No, sorry, what did you say, Noel? No, that didn't get it.
So
what did
I
they
think
screw up?
that
What's the lights?
I think that Obi-Wan is the start of the end of Disney realizing how badly they're screwing up. And the Obi-Wan being bad is the start of a better era for Star Wars, because they hit rock bottom. They put all this money, they did a bunch of changes. Everyone hated it, even though everyone watched it. They lost a bunch of fans, if the ones that didn't already leave after Rise of Skywalker. And now they're like, what do we do? Because Andor came out and that's really good, but no one's watching it. We have to make changes. I think it's causing desperation.
I'm sure they learned the lesson, and that's why they announced Daisy Ridley will be back. So
I didn't say completely learn their lesson. I mean, they're slowly starting to realize it. You know what I mean? It's like when you gain so much weight and you don't realize it till your pants don't fit one day and you're like, I gotta get more. Like, that's what they're slowly realizing.
No, but on that note, I want to say that I think that like the 3 movies, so that like to me, like the biggest announcement were the 3 movies. So I think that they want to they want to cater to different type of fans, because I felt that like the Rey movie was very much for the newest fans, like the kids that saw Rey and fell in love with her. So the kids that grew up with the sequel trilogy, while the Dave Filoni movie, that to me feels like the movie that like the people that read Heir of the Empires in the 90s and grew up with like the legends and so on would like to see, because like to me that movie feels like Heir of the Empire, but without Han, Luke, and Leia, but with Ahsoka, Mandalorian, Grogu, etc. So it, like to me it feels like, so for the new fans they have the Rey movie, for the old fans they have the Dave Filoni movie. So I feel I kind of like that, so that they have something for everybody.
I still feel though, I mean, that they're good actors. I mean, in those prequels, I mean, they're fair enough actors. It's just I don't think there was
the writing.
With the writing, it
just like Henry Cavill. I just saw a meme. Henry Cavill gets casted. He does a good job, but then there's behind the scenes drama and terrible directing and writing. And then he has to go to a new franchise. It's like, at least Andor has all of it, but no one cares. Andor has everything but a big audience. Oh my God.
Which is it was so disappointing.
He's nominated for a Golden Globe, Diego Luna. The last time an actor was nominated in Star Wars like that not animated, but just live action was Alec Guinness, right? Back in the original.
Mm. I think Andor had just really suffers from a big marketing problem. If you'd call that series Rebels or the beginning of the rebellion, then yes, everyone would say, okay, this is a great jumping in point. If you name it after a character, spoilers, who gets incinerated at the end of Rogue One, it's like, where would I go with this? Like, oh, I know he's great, but I know he doesn't end well for him. And it's a character that you even Star Wars fans thinking, oh, you're making a series around him. Why? If they just renamed it the Rebellion or something like that, it would have I think got a lot more initial eyes and a great jumping point for it, because it is a wonderful series. It's well written. It's like a political spy thriller in its own right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think the other issue with Andor is that it's something you kind of have to watch like in its entirety, because there's a lot of episodes where it's like a part of a larger story. So if you just watch an episode individually, it's sort of like there's not much going on. But if you binge watch it, at least all or most of the episodes, then it's like, oh, okay, I get what's going on here, and you get more into it. Yeah.
I mean,
like Mandalorian is like a adventure of the week type thing. So that's like the opposite. So.
At least with Andor, though, even though you have to watch all of it, at least with Andor, though, also, even though you will be watching all of it, you don't have to watch the rest of the movies or anything to kind of get what's going on. You just watch it and be like, oh, this is a good show, and it happens to take place. It's like the movie Venom. It doesn't take place in the MCU, or it does take place in the MCU, but you don't have to watch all the Marvel movies to watch this one Marvel movie. That's what I like about Andor, is you don't have to watch, like, you can just watch Andor without seeing any other Star Wars and still enjoy it and not be clueless,
Yeah, that's why I said it can be a great jumping in point. If you're like, I mean, you've got so much going on now with the different eras, different films, and you try to explain like the general public, which is what you really have to really appeal to if you want to be another pop culture phenomenon, really. Where do you start? And then it's like, well, you can start with the newer movies, and you start with that, and thinking, oh, it's not for me. I think someone was telling me that's where they directed them to, and they said, no, it's fine. If you instead direct them to maybe some of the Andor, if you start with Andor, you're thinking it's quite a lot going on here, and then you explore the other films in the franchise or the other.
I also heard, I don't know if anybody knows this, I had a friend, we grew up in the 90s in the UK, and he was a big Star Wars fan, and he said to me, Ali, this was at the time, you're talking around 1999, The Phantom Menace, it was a long time ago, and he said that he actually wanted to become a Jedi. And now, when you look at the census, I think there's a part where people have, I don't know if there's any consensus to becoming a Jedi on a form, but I think it exists, that belief, doesn't it?
What they were saying to make it a religion as one of the boxes.
Yeah, I think it was one of the listings. Yeah, I heard about that, but
it was vetoed. I think
that was Phantom Menace, the late 90s. I think.
I mean, there was such a big. Well, this is another thing when you had such a big gap between the big movies, which I think now. I mean, Disney. I know Bob Iger did mention that the strategy is to less projects, spread them out more. And I think that means don't be on a schedule to where you have a release date and then run towards it, which I know was an open conversation between the makers now. They reflect on these sequel movies that they had a mandate for a hard release date and they rushed through it. And that's why you had this panic of getting the first movie out. Didn't have probably the director left, so I don't want to go. I've done enough. I've done my job. And then they had to get someone else who took it in another direction. So there was no, it wasn't a healthy working environment. And I think
I think if they had like a show like Clone Wars that is kind of different from everything else, and you can watch at your leisure and combine that with the movies or a TV show, I think that's fine. Like two things at the same time, but too many things at the same time. I think that's where it all gets lost. Just like Marvel, I know this is Star Wars and they keep bringing up Marvel, but they have there's so many things. Even the most diehard Marvel fans I know won't watch all of it. And you can't, I think it's almost the reason why they push all this stuff is to get us to watch Disney Plus, because, they've invested so much money into it. But I don't know if that's that should be a reason to do it. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, to be to add to your point, Marvel has slowed down now because they were supposed to release 4 TV shows and 4 movies this year, and they pushed the Marvels to the end of the year. So so this year is only 3 movies: Ant-Man, Guardians, and Marvels. And also the TV show. There were like the first one coming this year is Secret Invasion in like July, and probably Loki season 2, but not more than that. So I think that they learned their lesson as well, because like I mean I've always watched, like I mean I'm a big Marvel fan, and I can't keep up as well with
Marvel has its like own thing, and there's other reasons for them doing that. But I think with Star Wars, because they hadn't announced any like movies for like a while, or you would hear about them and to be like, oh yeah, this group is going to do it, or these 2 people are going to do it, or the people who did Game of Thrones are going to do it, and they just focus a lot more on the Disney Plus programs. And now at the recent celebration, they kind of said, okay, now we're going to do these 3 movies, and Dave Filoni is going to direct one. Then you're going to have one, focusing on Rey. So now this is the first time in a while that you've heard a lot more about Star Wars content than just what's on Disney Plus, like the Mandalorian or the Bad Batch or Book of Boba Fett, things like that. So there's movies, things in cinemas as well as on streaming.
What they've learned a bit their lesson, because I think they have announced that it will be the Daisy Ridley movie will be just one movie, and then they'll see how it goes. I think Captain Kennedy herself said we'll see how that goes, and then we'll be, if that gets received well, then we'll move on to another one, which is healthy. I think they've got to tread pretty much carefully, because as you say, they at least they identify. We can't just stamp Star Wars and anything and expect them just to go see it, which tends to be the Disney way of going to stamp it and then push it out. So it does come down to the writing and just give them the time. That's the thing. Encouraged by Dave Filoni, I think they're going to, because I think he does know the universe, but he does know the writing and reasoning and character development. You can see that when he talks about characters and why and motivations and all that, and you're thinking, and if that gets put in and seeded in, then you can even do a 3 films if you plan it well. Some extra sex with the shows are, well, the animated shows are actually better written than the TV show.
Clone Wars is like as much as I like Mandalorian, the writing is I'm kind of indifferent to, kind of like the originals. But I rewatched Clone Wars and I'm like, this is good dialogue. Clone Wars was nominated for Golden Globes and other things too. I don't know for the writing, but it's very, very good. Even the cheesy quotes at the beginning are fun, It's just like it's just enough where kids won't notice it, but adults will be like, oh, that's something. They bring up a lot of issues that are, apply today, even though it was made like, at least 10 years ago, probably more. 15 years ago.
Because
15.
15, yeah.
Because that's kind of the writing spectrum of the original Star Wars, where you had such a scope of sensibilities and writing, as in the characters and what they're expressing, very adult themes. Done at a level where it's adults are responding to, but kids have got another level to respond to as well. But then that's why you have this audience going back to, and generational ones. So, which I don't think the sequels kind of really did. I mean, you get a lot of fans dressed up as Anakin as well. I mean, you mentioned,
Anakin and Rey. There were a lot of Anakins and a lot of Reys. Because I think Rey, even though a lot of people hate her, she makes a lot of money. I think because there are a lot of girls who dress like Rey in the same way they dress princesses at events and things, which is why.
And she also appears at the Galaxy's Edge.
I've met her. She's very nice. And interacts with kids a lot and everything. By the way, Galaxy's Edge, I know we talk about how it should be the original trilogy, but they should just add more characters. That would make the whole thing a lot better. But you can meet Rey and Chewie and a couple other characters. Now they're adding Mando and Boba Fett and everyone else. So
Fennec Shand,
Talking about Galaxy's Edge, I was told that the reason that they're doing next celebration in Japan is because they're gonna open Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland Tokyo as well.
That means it's going to be good because Disney doesn't control Disney Tokyo. A Japanese railroad.
That Oriental Land Company,
Yep, exactly.
Do you know if it's going to be at the original theme park there or Tokyo Disney Sea?
Probably be Tokyo, the original one, because Tokyo Disney Sea has certain theming and they're very, I don't want to say secretive, but it's very specific what it's supposed to be. Okay. So I'm assuming it's Tokyo Disneyland. especially because they haven't done any major updates recently. But that'll be the best Star Wars. Like if you guys like choose, do I want to go Disneyland, Disney World, Disney Tokyo? Tokyo will have the best experience by far. They're very specific on what they want. That has to be the best quality. No ands, ifs, or buts. No Disney Bob Chapek shortcuts. You know?
But the Disney Resort, to my knowledge, I mean, I wasn't there in 1955. It's more my grandparents' generation. But the original one was in Anaheim, California, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, that's where I'm from. Yeah. Well, not from Anaheim, but from California. Yeah.
Yeah. But
are you
saying the one in Japan is actually
80s, 82.
83, yeah.
83? Okay,
yeah, 83.
Oh, okay. God.
Yeah, Disneyland.
And then I guess
Tokyo.
the one in France is the 90s.
Disneyland, the original.
Yeah, Disneyland Paris.
Basically, anytime like major corporation taking over the company, the theme parks were really good. That's what makes Disneyland good, because even though Walt Disney controlled it, Disney was not like it is now. So people had more creative freedom. They got treated better. And there's more rides in Disneyland itself than most of the other theme parks combined.
I mean, you are speaking about it. Has Walt Disney passed away? He's no longer.
Walt Disney passed away in 1966. Yeah. That's why we don't smoke 3 packs a day, or you will die young. So yeah, he passed away from lung cancer, unfortunately. Yeah.
But he's cryogenically preserved headquarters somewhere. But that's rumor.
In Area 51. In Area 51, definitely.
In Area 51, where he'll reemerge and save us. But all right, we're coming to the end of the hour. There is one more, exciting, I say announcement, but a re-release after 40 years. That was actually got me a bit excited. Like, it was the 40-year anniversary, I think, of Return of the Jedi, which is getting a release, I think, 28th, for about maybe a week, actually, from the 28th of April in the UK and the US. This will be, we'll do an event as well. We'll probably go to it, but that was good. Did you say you went to the panel, Return of the Jedi panel? Did someone?
Yes. Yeah, it was very good. So the first part, it was hosted by Ming-Na Wen. Was amazing.
She's a good host.
And so the first part was with like Doug Chang and other people who like designed the creatures, designed Jabba's palace, designed the speeder bike chase, etc. So they showed an amazing. So this was of course, like in '83 they didn't have CGI to do the previews. So like to previs.
It's just like.
To previous, they brought like some toys, some like Luke and Leia toys, and they did the spider bike chase with toys, and it was amazing. And then in the second part, there was Anthony Daniels, Warwick Davis, Ian McDiarmid, and Billy D. Williams, and the interplay between Anthony Daniels, Warwick Davis, and Ian McDiarmid was amazing. It was like Ian McDiarmid did the Emperor's laugh. He said that he created he decided to use that voice because it was not a Lucas decision. So basically, he said that when they were doing his makeup, he said, okay, if he looks like this on the outside, he needs to have a matching voice. I mean, he cannot have a clean voice. So that's why he decided to use that voice. And then, Anthony Daniels is always amazing, but I was kind of sad, like, to see Billy D. Williams because he was
that's what I heard.
Clearly uncomfortable, like not like like Ming-Na Wen asked him, okay, well, like how was it? How was the scene in the Sarlacc pit where you hanging upside down? And he was like very uncomfortable. And then she asked him, okay, but you should have like a nice memory about the shooting of Return of the Jedi. It was like very uncomfortable. And like at the end of the panel, like he talked about it, that his autobiography is coming out, and he was reading from a piece of paper, like the title of the book, the publisher, and so on. And
I think he's just a little too old. You know what I mean? Like,
but
he's a little, like, maybe, I can kind of tell Larry Skywalker. Yeah.
Sorry, what did you say?
No, he's just like maybe. I think he's maybe a little too old to be doing these panels. You know,
No,
once you get to a
definitely.
certain
No,
age,
for sure.
80s
For
like
sure.
that,
Like it was, yeah, I mean, it was not comfortable at all. And yeah, so that's, yeah. And like Ming-Na Wen was like trying to like involve him, trying to, but no, it was just.
Yeah, I was surprised he was there because I did pose him a question because he was actually, there was a Comic-Con and they had a lot of a huge Star Wars contingent because the last the Last Jedi was released there, and he was Cade and he came on and he'd ask him a question, and a wrong question, I should know, but he perked up. But even in today's celebration this year, there was another, he did attend another one-to-one question with another presenter. He perked up. He did actually perk up a bit more.
Yeah, I was told that. Yeah, because, yeah, I haven't seen it, but yeah, I was told that when he went to the live stage, it was so much better.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I mean, could be. I don't know.
Well, I think some of that is it was someone he kind of like was gravitated towards. He was very, that old charm came out again. Let's just say. So it was good to watch that one. Yeah, but on the back of what you just mentioned before. But yeah, it was yeah, they are kind of getting quite elderly, and but so can appreciate the stars that you do come to attend. But Anthony Daniels, I say, he's always quite firecracker, and maybe gives quite the most brutally honest answers to any question. He did mention that he was going to be auctioning some of the stuff, and I did go to the prop store that was there and talk to the store holder there, and you can see some of Anthony Daniels' costumes that are going, original parts, the legs, the feet, and all that. And there was a Carrie Fisher dress used from The Empire Strikes Back. The price tag for that.
No. It was the throne room scene in the original Star Wars.
Well, the price tag for that was 1 to 2 million, actually.
Oh, wow.
So if you want to pick that up, it looked a bit frayed.
I'll put it right here. It'll go.
Yeah. Well, you got space. Yeah, just put it.
I do. Yeah.
But yeah, that's quite hefty, and some of the original shooting scripts and that. But quite some good stores there, some good props to have a look at that. Right. Wow. On that note, I think we'll say thanks everyone for joining me. Yeah, Return of the Jedi, I think, yeah, in April, with 40th anniversary. So I definitely go and see that. A few of us will be as well. Until next time, thanks for joining me and see you soon. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this film and TV review.com episode. Catch the latest film and TV reviews, together with regular episode content from the world of film and TV every week. See you soon. Would you like to reach our film and TV review podcast audience? Do you have a product or service of interest to film and TV home consumers or followers of the entertainment industry? Have a film or show production to publicize? For affordable price plans for all budgets, get in touch and find out about our introductory advertising options. Reach our audience of film and TV viewers and visit our site contact page at filmandtvreview.com, or you can email us at business@filmandtvreview.com. Reach out today.